We talked to a fair few CISOs, chief information security officers, and CEOs, chief executive officers, but we don't get as many chief technology officers on the episode. So for listeners who are just learning about this sector, can you tell our listeners about your day-to-day work as a CTO at Jit and how that work differs, if at all, from past CTO roles that you held at companies that weren't co-owned by you?
Yeah, so I would start by saying that the role of CTO is kind of the one of the most versatile that I know.
Okay.
So my day-to-day is really dynamic. It really depends on the priorities. I'm trying to constantly assess how to support the various teams in the company, whether it's engineering teams, doing some consulting for them regarding technology and feature implementation, or talking to architects, supporting customers, of course, like everyone is customer obsessed. So we're too, of course. But beyond that, I'm also trying to, help with strategical conversation about technical partnerships, or preparing conference talk or podcast like this one.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, really rather busy days. So the difference between this role and the past role, I would say that here, in addition to being CTO, I'm also co-founder. Mm-hmm. And so the big difference is that I have a different impact on the company, whether it's in the vision, talking to investors, something that wouldn't happen otherwise. Mm-hmm. So I'm really trying to be a joker here and help everywhere I can. This is kind of my motto here. How can I help? Right.
Right. So speaking in a more abstract sense, what are some of the big responsibilities of a CTO in terms of the types of experiences and certifications and qualifications you would need to have to be considered as an interviewable candidate for your type of role?
That's a great question. Because as I said, like the role is very versatile. And so I know very different types of CTOs. I know CTOs that are more hands-on, those that are more, strategic, business oriented. But I would say that overall, I think that having a deep and wide technical background really helps. Mm-hmm. It's something that you want to be on top of what's going on, and so you need to follow the technical trends. One of the key elements is to be able to constantly focus on what's the most urgent and important. It may be true for a lot of roles, but as a CTO, because you can have an impact in very different areas of the company, it's really tempting to be drawn into various tasks and at the end being completely focusing. I think that thinking out of the box is something that is a really nice addition to the role. Mm-hmm. Being good at multitasking, for example, it's also something I have a lot of context switch, and being able to constantly know how to refocus and work on different stuff at the same time. That's really something important in order to be successful in this role.
Yeah. And I think that's something worth keeping in mind if you're doing any kind of C-suite role, but especially CTO here is that it's really important not to be sort of pulled into everyday emergencies. Like you have to be able to, I suppose, kind of lift over it and think in terms, because, as someone who is terrible at refocusing, it's real easy to just jump from crisis to crisis. And then suddenly your 3-month long-term plan is still on, point one or whatever. So do you have any particular strategies or tips for CTOs or C-suite people trying to keep, the people who are putting out the fires on track with their long-term goals and the company's long-term goals?
There is one thing like beyond doing something like OKRs every quarter, there is something that I started to do not a long time ago that really helps focusing, is that every Sunday in the morning, I'm writing an email to myself and actually to the whole leadership in order to get some visibility about what are my goals for the week. Because that really helps focusing. And, I'm getting back to this almost every morning to see how much I managed to get some progress in that in those goals. That helps me focusing on the things that are the most important to me. And also it also helps me reassessing every week what should be the goal for the week.
Yeah, that's great advice. I think you can't go wrong by having a really, really clear picture in your head of what your week or your month has to look like, because then you know how to sort of push through sort of these immediate crises and keep on top of things.
Yeah, and also the fact that I'm sending this email to the whole leadership team, it also helps with setting expectations.
Yes.
They know exactly what they can expect from me in terms of time allocation. Yep. And so hopefully I don't get bothered too much.
Have you seen Work Bites, the new security awareness training series from Infosec? Our team produced this series with 3 E's in mind, making security awareness training entertaining, engaging, and educational. Just go to infosecinstitute.com/free to learn more about this hilarious office comedy. And hey, let us know what you think about it.